Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been about 2 years since I last really posted anything, or almost 2 years, and I'm gonna work on the Z. I think the last video that I posted was still back in California, and we got the car running, and then I ended up moving to Oregon, and just life happened. So recently we got the car back. Well, not back, but we got it up to Oregon and been working on it a little bit. The old engine stopped working, so I ended up pulling it out. Decided to do what I've wanted to do with this car, and I put an LS in it. Still quite a bit of work left to do. I got the engine in. I got Ace's EFI on it, got it running, but I still didn't have a transmission. I now have a transmission, got an adapter plate for it, and I think the goal for today is going to be to pull the engine back out and go ahead and get the transmission adapted to it, and then try to get everything back into the car. I did try to get the transmission on with the LS still in the Z, but there was just not enough room, and working on the garage floor, it was just too tight. So we're going to pull it back out. I did unhook everything already in terms of electrical, but obviously the engine's still in there. So we'll go ahead, we'll start pulling the engine out, and then hopefully get the transmission connected to it. Alright, first thing first, we're gonna pull off the hood. It's really not even attached, but alright. Let's see. Okay. The interior has been mostly put together. We got the bumper in there, but you see the little screen for the Aces. Alright, I'm going to need both hands, so we're going to set you guys up on a tripod for a moment and get this hood up. Here's the LS. This is just a LS1, but I already went through the motor, got new water pump on it, all new belts, oil pan got changed out, did the rear main seals, got the Ace's EFI on the top, radiator, got an electric fan mounted up, and then we'll see this later, but we also have the adapter plate right there with the clutch on. But like I said, there was not enough room to get everything in. So we're going to unhook the Aces and then get the engine plate on and then get the hoist and pull this thing out. Got all the wiring undone already, tucked off to the side. So for the most part, the engine should be pretty ready to come on out. It did run good. Sounded good. We have some full-length headers for it. Yeah, so let's get moving on removing that intake, and then we'll try to yank this thing out. Alright, so intake is off. Let's tape up the ports just so nothing gets in. And then we'll get these bolts out. I have, that's a tight fit, engine plate, so we'll get this one connected afterwards, and then hook up the crane, and then start undoing the engine mounts and trying to pull this thing out. Alright, time to undo the engine mounts and then hopefully pull this thing out. I probably should have over here, but it's Alright, so we got the LS out, put it on a little dolly, and it's still supported by the crane, but just so it doesn't wiggle around, put it on the dolly. We got the adapter kit right here. This is the PMC adapter for the LS to a BMW ZF transmission. This is the 5-speed transmission. It is supposed to be pretty stout from what I read and everything. I got a good deal on it. Plus, it's very compact compared to the T56s and CD09s. Very small transmission. With the Z, you really don't have that much room in here. I know people fit the T56s and everything in here. I don't know. I didn't want to smash up the car completely, even though it's not perfect, but this transmission should fit in there much better. So that's out. I already had the clutch on and everything, so we're going to get the transmission bolted on there. I needed to clean up a couple of things in here. I need to take out the old clutch line because the clutch on the ZF transmission is actually on the other side, so I don't need it to go all the way over there. So I'm going to unhook the sleeve from there, and then we'll have to get a new line for the new side of it. Otherwise, these are CX Racing engine mounts that bolt on to the factory crossmember, and then they came with the adapter plates right here, and they also came with headers, long tube headers that are actually tucked away in the car. Can't really see them right now, but yeah. The adapter plate looks super good quality. The only downside was there really was not much instructions that came with it. There are some online to look up, but nothing came in the box. But got this bolted onto the engine. Everything's lined up here. It's perfect. The other half of the adapter is already on the transmission, so we should just be able to put them together and then bolt everything up. Alright, fast forwarding. Transmission is onto the adapter plate, onto the LS. Honestly, that was the biggest struggle. It took me like an hour to get everything to line up and cinch everything down. I don't know why that was so hard, but it's finally on. I'm going to clean up a few little things, and then probably not today, another day we'll start working on trying to get this thing in. Alright, I did a little bit of stuff, had to take a little break, but we got the clutch slave cylinder removed. I just capped off the line for now, just so it's not dripping out, but I'm not going to remove the whole line. I'm just going to keep the original line there and then run a new line from the clutch master to the slave cylinder on the E36 transmission. Let's see, we'll try to get it in right now. Like I said, I had to take a break, getting a little frustrated with the whole transmission thing, but let's get it up, get it in. The other thing I did on the engine, there was a little tab here. I grinded it down just to make the starter easier to get in and out. When it was in the car, I was trying to get the starter out and it kept hitting this because of the adapter. It doesn't have as much room, so since that bracket's not needed, nothing's using it, I ended up chopping it and just grinding it smooth, just that way so it's not in the way of anything. And yeah, nice little package, good quality like I mentioned earlier. Super excited to get this in and then work on the trans mount once the engine and everything is in. So let's try to get it in and then let's see if we can actually get this done today or not. Got the engine in. I had to stop recording because I was struggling. Seems to be the story of my life. But the transmission fits really nicely. It's right up here. There's some space in here for movement. I do have it jacked up right now just to see how high it can go. The bolts for the engine mounts are back in. Engine's sitting pretty level. So it's right in the middle of the car. And then the bottom is nice and tucked up. I will probably have to lower it a little bit just to get the angle. But I wanted to double check that it can actually tuck up in there. Right now the jack is holding the transmission. These are the frame rails, so everything is above it. The oil pan is the Holley swap pan. That's for the low kit. They do have a shallower one from Morosco, I think. But this one will have to do for now. This is what I got. This was what works. Alright. And so I think this is where we're gonna call it for today. It's getting late. It's dinner time. The kiddo wants to play. So we'll leave it off here, and then next video GoPro died. So as I was saying, everything's in for now. Next video we're gonna jack up the back of the car and see what we have to do in order to get the transmission on the cross member. I have two different cross members, well actually three. I have the stock one for the 240. I got one from, man, I'm blanking out on the name right now. Got one from CX Racing that was part of the install kit, but it's for a T56. So we can try to make that work. One of them will fit, and then we'll see what we can do about it. But as of right now, engine sits nice. I think it's a good stopping point, and then we'll keep on going next time. Thanks for watching, guys.